Before we begin, I need you guys to do me a favour. Get this video to at least 200 likes. Also, if you like these videos, then consider donating as little as 10 pence via the link in the bio. Now, 3 members of a Kent-based gang have found themselves in prison, serving 35 years between them, after being found guilty of using a flamethrower, blades, belts, boiling salt water, and also a dog on their victim in a savage and brutal attack. And worst of all, these people recorded the entire incident and then placed it on social media for likes and comments. 23-year-old Charlie Saunter, 20-year-old William O'Brien, and 20-year-old Kai Haruna had issues with their victim that stemmed from dealings. Of course, it was Class A substance rivalries. Do the math. So what they did was convince the victim to travel to Gravesend, and that's when he was ambushed. The victim was outnumbered 5-1. He was then placed in a flat in Gravesend and then tortured for over 6 hours on the 5th of July 2020. While held against his will, Charlie, William and Kai had used a blade on the victim, targeting specific areas. Think of the most vulnerable part of your body. That's where he was targeted. They also used the blade on the victim and also ran it up and down his face as if sharpening it. And if that wasn't enough, he was also subjected to bite marks from a dog. And again, they used a flamethrower on him. A homemade flamethrower. During this 6-hour ordeal, the victim was also told to strip. He was then told to stand in a shower while water considered to be boiling was thrown at him. Now, because Kai was sadistic, he also jumped on his victim's chest until he passed out. And during the ordeal, the gang also asked the victim if he wanted to make a final call, like call his mom or his friends or family, before his demise. Again, the victim passed out multiple times. Now, these sick people recorded the ordeal for laughs and giggles before posting it online. Now, the video found its way to the police 2 days after the incident, and the investigation was quickly conducted. Police went to the victim's house to see his injuries and take him to hospital. They also went to find the people responsible, Charlie, William and Kai. They found them 2 days after. But when police went to arrest Charlie, William and Kai, the same dog that bit the victim also bit an officer on his right knee. And Charlie put his hands up in the air but then armed himself with a blade that was still in its sheath. Officers had to aim their taser at Charlie and warn him it was not wise. 23-year-old Charlie Saunter was sentenced to 13 years and 6 months. 20-year-old William O'Brien was sentenced to 11 years, and Kai Haruna, who's 20 years old, was sentenced to 8 years and 3 months. When they was told to stand in front of a judge for their sentences, a judge says that all 3 men would serve 2/3 of their sentence before being considered for parole. And during their final closing statement, the defence team and the gang admitted that their behaviour was horrible, but explained it was not who they were as a person, or I should say as people, and this was just a mistake that teenagers make. Stay safe.